Perek Chav Ches, Mishnah Hey. Quite an intricate Mishnah. The Mishnah is in two parts. The first part deals with garments, begodim, and the second deals with leather kelim. What we're going to deal with here is when you change one kli into another kli. You actually change it. We've had this before a few times, and the Mishnah is going to start off with a case. Kippah shu tameh medras. You've got kippah as a cap, a beged, it's a cloth cap, and it's able to be mekabel tumas medras. Although we've had mishnayos before, especially in Perek Chav Daled, Mishnah Tes Zayin, there are some kippahs that are not mekabel tumas medras, some are. We're talking about one here which is. Fine. So far so good. You've got a regular beged which is mekabel tumas medras. Mishnah carries on, unasonoi al hasefer. And you then change it. You take this cloth and you use it as, you change its function from a cap to a book cover. Says the Mishnah, Torah min ha-medras. It becomes Torah from the medras because it is now no longer a kli, which is roy the medras. It is no longer a beged. However, avol tomet me'emes, it's a regular kli, it's a regular beged. I'll discuss that in a minute. It's basically a beged of a kli kibble, and therefore is tomet me'emes, not medras. Let's analyze this again. The Mishnah says you actually take this cap and you put it on the sefer. Nosonoi al ha-sefer. The question is here, do we have a shinui ma'aseh? If you have a shinui ma'aseh, that means you actually change the tzura of the kippah and now say it is no longer a kippah, it is now a book cover, then you don't have to have the words Nosonoi al ha-sefer to make it tahor. As soon as you change it and you actually disfigure it, it is no longer a kippah, it has become now a book cover, it is automatically Torah min ha-medras. And the Gemara picks this up. The Gemara Taka says that here we are not dealing with a shinui ma'aseh. There's been no physical change to the kippah. All you've done is, you've been miyached this kippah for the book, for the sefer, called hazmona. Now, under the normal rules of Tumah, just having hazmona is not enough to take away from the medras, because you can always bring it back to its kippah stage. You just take it off the book and then put it on your head. That's not enough, therefore, to be moired tumah. If you want to be makel here and say this is no longer able to be mekabel tumas medras, you've got to do more than just a yichud. The pshat in this Mishnah is, the Gemara discusses, there is a very important machlokas between Abaye and Rava about hazmona milsehi. When something becomes osa b'hana, for instance, you have a beged for a dead body for tachrichim, if you just mazmin the beged for the mace, and you don't actually put it on the mace yet, does that create an issur? There's machlokas between Abaye and Rava. Abaye holds hazmona milsehi. Rava says hazmona lav milsehi. Rava says if you want to make a beged osa b'hana and put on a mace, it's not good enough just to be mazmin it, you've actually got to put it on the mace. Abaye and Rava argue on this Mishnah whether the girsa is unasonai al ha-sefer, which is Rava. Rava says it's not good enough just to be miyached this for a sefer, because once it belongs to the sefer, it's osa b'hana. Once you put it to wrap up a sefer, especially a sefer Torah, it's osa b'hana. Says Abaye, Rava says, sorry, unasonai al ha-sefer, you've actually got to be mazmin it for a sefer Torah, and actually put it on the Sefer Torah. Then it becomes osa b'hana. Abaye says the gersa should be unasonai l'sefer, which means you be miyached it for a Sefer Torah. That's enough. But both agree there's no shinui ma'aseh here. So how does the rules of hazmona milsa affect the rules of being moirid tumah for medras? The answer is, this Mishnah is talking about a case where you've done Lamar Kadisle or Lamar Kadisle, each one according to his shitta, you've done enough of an action here to make this kippah osur b'hana to become part of the Sefer Torah. Either because you've done hazmona or because you've done hazmona and nesina ala sefer. The fact that now halachically you are now not allowed to use this sefer for this kippah for anything else, but it's miyuchet for the sefer. It's now osa b'hano. That issa hano creates the shinui masa necessary to be moirid tumah, to say this is now no longer a medrus, although you haven't had a physical shinui masa, but the halachic issa to use this for anything else but the sefer Torah creates enough of a shinui masa to say now this thing is now changed. It's complete. The old function no longer exists. The old keli is broken. We now have a new keli. This new keli is not royal medrus, and therefore it's toim in our medrus. The Mishnah carries on. Tome mace. Why is that? In the Mishnah before we said there's machlokas whether mitpachos sforim are mekabel tumah. The Chazon Ish explains that we're talking about a type of leather beged covering for a sefer, which actually is in the form of a tick. It's in the form of a pouch, as opposed to a cover. It's like a bag, and therefore, under the normal rules, a beged which is a kli kibble is mekabel tumas meis, although not tumas medrus. Right, second part of the Mishnah. Second part of the Mishnah is now moving over from beged to leather kelim. Leather kelim can be mekabel tumah in the normal state as a kli kibble, and also, if they're not a kli kibble, if they're flat, if they're poshut, a kli poshut, they can be mekabel tumah because they're royal medrus. What happens if you change one type of leather kli into another? Let's do the cases of the Mishnah. Chemes shasor shetiach, or shetiach shasor chemes. A chemes is a leather water bottle, which you now have changed into a rug. You've got to cut open the stitches and make it flat. Or the other way around. You've got a flat leather rug. Shasor chemes, you've now turned it into a water bottle. Tahor. That change from a kli poshet to a kli kibble, or from a kli kibble to a kli poshet, renders the first keli to be broken. The first keli doesn't exist anymore. It's shavur. And therefore, you've got enough of a shinui mas, enough of a shinui Hashem to say this is the old kli is broken, and therefore, if it was tameh, it becomes tahor. The Mishnah carries on with some more examples. Now, if you look through the examples in the Mishnah, in the last line on the it'll say the words tameh, chemesh asar tumul, tumul asar chemes, etc., etc. It says before the word zakal, it says the word tameh. The correct giris according to the Rash is tahor, like Bartanura says, because these are all going to be cases where you're changing a kli kibble to a kli poshet, or a kli poshet to a kli kibble, or you're changing one type of kli kibble to another type of kli kibble. These are proper changes. These are material changes. Therefore, the old kli is considered to be broken, and therefore you have tahara. What are the cases? Chemesh shasar turmul, turmul shasar chemes. You've got a water bottle which you change into a satchel, or a satchel into a water bottle. Kar shasoi sodin v'sodin shasoi kar. Kar is a pillowcase which you turn into a sheet, a flat sheet. So in the case of chemes and the Torah, in the first case, you've got two types of kli kibble. In the case of kar sodin and sodin kar, you're going from a kli kibble because the pillowcase is stuffed. It's a kli kibble, you change it into a regular sheet. Sodin shasoi kar the other way around. Or you've got keses. Keses is, instead of a pillowcase, it's a quilt cover. Again, that's a kli kibble, because you stuff it. Here you're turning it, it's larger, you're turning it into a towel. Shasor mitpachas, you're going from a kli kibble to a kli poshet. Or mitpachas shasor keses. Or it was a plain towel, you're now sewing it up and making it into a kli kibble. In all these cases, the girsa should be in this Mishnah tahor, because you have now done a material change to the kli, and the old kli is considered to be broken, and therefore the kli is tahor. Zaklal, this is the rule. Kol sheshinahu lishmoi tomei. If the change is lishmoi, and the Mefarshim explain this means you go from a kli poshet to a kli poshet, you change a towel to a rug, because it was a kli poshet before and it's now a kli poshet afterwards. That change from poshet to poshet isn't material enough to say that the kli has been so fundamentally changed that we actually have a shavira. The first keli has been broken, And in the case of a poshut to poshut, which is called lishmoy, which means you haven't really changed it, then it's tome, whatever tome it was before, that tome carries on. The shem acher, if you have it change the function, which means either kibble to kibble, or kibble to poshut, or poshut to kibble, that's called a change, and it's tahor. Difficult but important Mishnah, and Mishnah Vav coming up.